there's this awareness of my boundaries matter too. What matters for my sensitivities, I can express that in a way to help me feel more grounded in myself, but also safer in relationships. Because when we are giving parts of ourselves away or hiding parts of ourselves to accommodate others, one, it can be very easy to get overwhelmed because we're holding back so much. But two, we often don't feel fully seen. We feel as if either we're performing to make it easier on others, we're giving more than we're receiving, or we feel invisible. Hi, I'm Biz Cush, a life coach and therapist, and your host here on the Awaken Your Wise Woman podcast. We're talking to women all over the world who found their way back to themselves, to their inner knowing, to their intuition, to their wisest self. We're exploring how to feel alive, authentic, engaged, and fully present in your life. Let's awaken your wise woman. Hi, and welcome back to the Awaken Your Wise Woman podcast. We are winding down for season 5. This is the last new recorded episode for season 5, and I have really just so much appreciated all the guests that have been on the podcast this season and feeling that connection with highly sensitive women through the podcast, through the meetups, that there's a part of me that just wants more, that really wants to dive deeper, to have more connection on a regular basis with a highly sensitive community of like-minded women. So I'm exploring some platforms that will hopefully allow that to happen. It will be a membership so that the members will be vetted, whatever that means. No, selected so that the community feels aligned and beautiful and fulfilling for those of us who will be a part of it. And I'm really excited about this next step into building community, building a strong community of like-minded, highly sensitive women. And if that interests you, if that is something you want to know more about, want to be informed when it's happening, you can follow me on Instagram. I will definitely be sharing it there. You can DM me on Instagram at Awaken Your Wise Woman if you want to be put on a list for updates. But you can also join my newsletter. So I have a newsletter that goes out once a month, and then the podcast episodes also get shared twice a month. So you get something from me a few times a month. Any updates and on promotions as well as gatherings will happen there too. So if you get on my newsletter, go to my website, elizabethcush.com. Cush is spelled with a C. You can sign up for the newsletter there and get all the updates, including this new membership that will be forming, I'm hoping over the summer. So hoping to solidify whatever platform it will not be on Facebook, solidify the platform and go from there. So I hope you will get on the newsletter and stay in touch. And looking back on the guests for this season, I think the ones that really stuck out in my mind were the women who were highly sensitive, and that through our sensitivity and our talking about being highly sensitive, it created this beautiful connection. And some of the women I'd known previously or known of, but some of them I'd never met before, and I came away from the encounters thinking like, I feel like I could reach out to them anytime and they would welcome me to connect with them or be there for me if I needed to. In particular, Well, Martina was so great, and I always love talking to Carrie. She is also my coach, so that's a very familiar experience for me. But Brooke and Alana and Prune Harris, who I will get to meet in person next month in June, which I'm super excited about. She is coming to Maryland and doing a 2-day workshop on energy healing and all of her amazing woo-woo stuff. So I'm very, very, very excited to be able to be in her presence, but also get to meet her one-on-one, and I will keep you updated about that too. And of course, you can listen to all and any of the past episodes if you just go to the website, elizabethcush.com. The podcast is there, or on any of the podcasting platforms where you might listen. You can find all the past episodes to catch up if you haven't heard them all, or ones you want to go back to and listen to again. They're all available on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. And I'll probably reshare a few over the summer of the ones that really stuck out for me and really were meaningful to me. So I will do a few replays of that. So if you're on my list, on my mailing list, you will get those as well. Another highlight of this season of the podcast, but just this season of my business, is the highly sensitive women's meetups. We've had 2 so far. There's a third coming later this month, so this episode will air after that, but it's amazing to me that the space can hold women who have never met before, and they come away from it, I come away from it as well, feeling as if deep connections were made, as if we were all held in this highly sensitive container, or container that is safe for our sensitivities, that is aligned and truly nourishing, truly nourishing. And while each meetup, different topics were explored, the connection was felt at a soul level. And that's why I want to create the membership, because to me, the monthly meetups, I want that feeling to be nurtured and grown in a way that we can continue to come back and connect between the meetups, so that that sense of connection doesn't just feel like it's fleeting. I want this to be a place where you know you are welcome and you feel it in your bones, in your heart, in your soul. And the reason it feels so easy is because we're inviting highly sensitive women to come together. And as empaths, as caring people, as sensitive beings, we are able to see that sensitivity in others and hold that space and honor wherever each person is coming from, and hold it with compassion and care, kindness, which we need so much in the world right now. And this space offers an opportunity for those qualities in ourselves to grow and be nurtured and really blossom. And as much as I knew these spaces would create that, or would be able to hold that, I was still surprised by how often, when someone was sharing, another person would either raise their hand saying, like, "Me too," or would actually voice, "Me too. I felt that way." There was so much commonly held experience that I think often as highly sensitive women, we don't get that in our everyday life with other less sensitive people. And it was so validating and filled me up in a way that surprised me, but also, I mean, surprised me that it touched me so deeply when I was kind of being the holder of the space, but that I heard from others afterwards that they experienced the same thing. Just this amazement at how easily we could feel at home in our sensitivities with others. The next meeting will be in May, which pretty sure this episode will air after the next meetup, but never fear. I will be announcing another meetup in June, and I will be posting that on social media, Instagram in particular, but also you'll get updates if you're on my newsletter. So if you are interested in joining us, joining other sensitive women in a lovely space that holds your sensitivities with kindness and care, get on the newsletter and I will keep you in the loop. One of the topics that I felt like was a thread between both meetups and what I see with clients that I work with is that because of our sensitivities, we've often allowed our boundaries to be softened to accommodate others' less sensitive needs. We can be fall into sort of a people pleasing or a questioning of ourselves of whether these boundaries are valid in order, valid to be held, valid to express. And I think within the communities, the community meetups where I've been holding, there's this awareness of my boundaries matter too. What matters for my sensitivities, I can express that in a way to help me feel more grounded in myself, but also safer in relationships. Because when we are giving parts of ourselves away or hiding parts of ourselves to accommodate others, one, it can be very easy to get overwhelmed because we're holding back so much. But two, we often don't feel fully seen. We feel as if either we're performing to make it easier on others, we're giving more than we're receiving, or we feel invisible, like our needs, ourselves, our beings are not seen. And I know for me in my life, that has created so much anxiety. And the more firmly and with confidence that I step into my fully aligned self, my soul purpose, the less anxious I feel, the more confident I feel, the more at home I feel in myself. And we deserve that as sovereign beings. We deserve to feel comfortable in who we are. We deserve to own our sensitivities in the world in large and small ways because we're important. Our sensitive nature is a really important piece in the world that I feel like it's not missing because we're there, but often we're expected to keep it quiet, to tone it down, to be less sensitive. And I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be less sensitive. I want my sensitivities to shine. I want your sensitivities to shine. And I think being in community with other sensitive women really allows us to see and own our gifts in a different way, in a fully embodied way. I've noticed that as I learn to embody my sensitive nature more fully, when I'm letting it shine more brightly, I'm then attracting the other sensitive beings and those that appreciate the sensitive beings in the world. I'm attracting those people into my circle, into my life. And that is one of the most rewarding things, but feels so right in terms of energy. If we are letting our sensitive energy shine out there in the world, we are going to attract like energy. You are going to attract like energy. And I think that's the amazing thing too about the group is that so far, the women who have come into it are just the right people. They are just the right people. And that just feels so incredible to me that I need more of it. This is again why I'm going to build the membership. So if this resonates with you in any way, I really hope that you will get on the newsletter so you're aware of the next meetups and when the membership is going to come into fruition. And yeah, that just know that your beautiful, sensitive nature is needed and is wanted and is welcome. So, as we wind up season 5 of the podcast, my wish for you is that your beautiful, sensitive energy begins to shine out in the world in a much more visible way. I hope that the podcast can help you do that. I hope that you will consider being a member of the community with me, but also know that we will be back. New episodes will begin to air in September, probably. I'm always very like, whenever I feel like it, but usually it's the end of September that new episodes will begin to air. I will start recording new guests over the summer. And yeah, it's going to be another wonderful season of the podcast. And we will bring in more highly sensitive women and women who work with highly sensitive women to help us best support our being and maybe provide new, innovative ways that we can support ourselves as highly sensitive beings. So I hope you'll join me back here on the podcast next season. In the meantime, there will be reruns of this season or past seasons of episodes that resonate with me in a way that feels, important to reshare. And again, please get on the newsletter. Come join us in a meetup. Consider joining the membership when it's open. I will also be sharing a revised edition of the Highly Sensitive Women's Guide to Building Community. I've been working on revamping that because I wanted to, because it felt right, because I love being creative. So you can look for that too on my website. And I look so forward to connecting with you either in a meetup, in the membership that's coming, in my newsletter, or back here on the podcast. Thanks for listening to the Awaken Your Wise Woman podcast. The information in this podcast is not a substitute for seeking help from a licensed mental health professional. Music by Andy Cush. Sound editing by Laura Disler, and show notes by Kathy Cush. If you'd like more information about me, Biz Cush, and the resources shared today, go to awakenyourwisewoman.com.